right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Sunday Night Charts with Jim of All Trades. Good to see you guys. Hope you're well. My name's Jim. I'm a crypto trader here to help you understand the market from an Elliott wave perspective. Guys, I'm a wave structure analyst. I look at wave structure and use it to identify where the markets might be heading. It's called Elliott wave theory. If you've never heard of it, you ought to deep dive into it. It's pretty awesome. We look at 5s and 3s, guys. 5s and 3s, see where the market's heading. So with that said, let's analyze the 5s and 3s tonight, see what Bitcoin's doing. It's taking forever. Oh, golly, it's taking forever. Would you please hurry up? It's not a triangle, Durgam. It's not a triangle. It's not a triangle. It most often is not a triangle. Though the market is a triangular, it's not a triangle. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Hope you're well. Alexandre Olivier, what's up, man? Bonjour. Ça va? I hope you're well. Keith M, on the run. He's on the move, always on the run. Listen to me like a podcast. There's better stuff to listen to, buddy. Change channels, man. I'm glad you're here, though. Always glad you're here. All right, guys, don't forget, don't confuse anything I say tonight as financial advice. I am no financial advisor, just a guy on the internet looking at the chart, telling you what I think. If you're here to know what I think, I'm getting ready to tell you. So let's jump into the analysis. Hope you guys doing well on this 4th of July weekend. Let's jump in. All right, guys, I'm going to get right to the analysis here. Let me get the Bitcoin chart here. That was XRP. Beautiful. Okay, so what's the chart doing here? Again, looking on the weekly chart, just kind of say, okay, what's the overall analysis? Really quick, really fast. Y'all been around long enough to know, I believe this looks very much like 5 waves that just finished here, probably. Now, it could be finished here and not here, but and the difference is important. But I tend to believe it's probably here, probably there, probably finished there. So, with that said, if that's where it finished, then what we have going on could be an expanded flat in which we're looking for 5 waves to the downside from here. Okay, we've already begun. We've already begun that 5 waves, if that count is correct. Okay, we have an initial 3 waves off the top, a 3-wave back up that took the high as an expanded flat, and now potentially, this is just a potential count here. Potentially, we have a 1 and a flat wave 2 that's just finished. We're looking for 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, that kind of wave structure right there. I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin come down fairly quickly. It's not going to happen in one day, and it probably won't happen as fast as I've just drawn it. But would not be surprised to see a move that goes down hard and heavy. Come on. There we go. Down to about 50K. That is the area, 50K is the area of real price support. I often talk about real price support. What is real price support? What do I mean by real support? Well, as when we talk about support, we're talking about always talking about what's going to keep price up, right? So you got to look at previous times price was going down and it found support, okay? So this was the bottom, a previous bottom support area, okay? This was. So this was resistance. This was support. So we're looking for previous support. That's real support. Some of you might say, well, this right here is support. Yeah, it certainly is. But where did that come down? It did not come down to real support, okay? Though it did create an intermediate support. It didn't retest this support. I would like to see price retest this area, okay? And that would make sense. You have the first wave comes down to this false support. You have a fake high and then another hit, all right, to real price support. So that is number one concept. That I think this is ABC. Could be 3 waves. Now, what happens after that, if that's correct? I mean, this is just number one idea. I've got so many ideas to present to you, but this is my favorite idea for now. Well, I believe personally that there's a chance that 3-wave move right there is just the beginning of sorrows. In other words, this 3 waves is the W wave of a much larger and drawn out multi-year bear market that looks something like that. Now, I don't know how deep this X wave will come, but more than likely it'll come about 60% retrace. So I think that's feasible. And so the way I'm looking at this wave is a wave 1 to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 waves finished. This would be a wave 1, a wave A, a wave B, or a W, a wave X, and then looking for a wave Y to come back down to real support. The area of real support is right in there, okay? Anywhere from 15 to 20K range. That's the area of real support on the Bitcoin chart. Drawing a trend line off the bottom here, like so. Let me draw that a little bit better. There we go. There it is. You know, you see the support area right here at 20K looks really, really good with a wick down below it and then a V-shaped recovery out of it. Boom. 3 waves back, and then we go to the moon. Okay? Or we begin V-shaping out of that. But this could be what is coming over the next 2 to 4 years. It can go faster than that. It doesn't have to do that, but that's the first idea that I want to present to you. That's kind of the macro look. So this is the wave that I believe that we very possibly could be in, and so you need to consider that, understand that, and realize that we're in for a 50% retrace of Bitcoin. We already had a 30%, 20 to 30% drop to 70K, and it V-shaped back up, took the high. But my chances are we're going to get the third wave that's going to go back down, and this V-shape gets everybody bullish again, and then they hit the low again. Take out traders before you get this move here. This move is going to be choppy and long, more than likely, if that happens. So what that's going to do, it's going to allow the alts that have real use case. No, okay, let me go back. If this scenario plays out as I've drawn, what I think this move right here, and ultimately this move is going to be death to a lot of these trash coins. Okay, it's going to be a crypto winter that brings death to trash coins. Okay. Secondly, if that's the case, secondarily, during this move right here, this rebound of Bitcoin as it goes sideways and up, okay, very slow and methodically, that's when the real use case alts are gonna run most likely, and they're gonna run against Bitcoin. In other words, they're gonna begin gaining ground. If you compare the ETH chart, for instance, against ETH BTC chart, you're going to see the ETH BTC chart going up. Ethereum is going to be gaining ground against Bitcoin during that. In other words, during this recovery, you're going to see the alts recover faster and harder, and that's when you're going to see. That's probably when you're going to get the alt season. That's my take on it. That's what I'm thinking. Might very well happen. Okay, so when Bitcoin finally dumps the bed here for a final wave, those alts will take a 3-wave return after they pump. They'll come back, retrace, and then they'll pump even harder and faster than Bitcoin afterwards. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Excuse me. That's my primary count. That's my primary way of looking at the chart. It's not the only way I look at the chart, but that's my primary idea. Okay, So that is the macro look. I always like to look at the macro first. Now, what else could be happening here on the macro? Well, let's talk about it. What else could be happening here on this wave? What could this wave structure be? Notice that this whole wave is happening on declining volume. Find that very interesting. Okay, we are increasing volume here, down here at the accumulation range, right? But look, but we began to decline during this correction. We had a spike at the bottom, a retest of that area. Okay, so a big spike there, and now we've got declining volume. Okay, I'm looking for a big spike in volume. That's going to be a sell-off, more than likely. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, then you're going to see declining volume again. Okay, through this time period right here. Okay, and then you'll see another more spike down here. Then you're going to see the big volume spikes come in at the bottom of this wave. If Bitcoin's going to last and go on, that's the way I'm expecting volume to play through that, if that's the case. But that's something that I paid attention to, is that declining volume. We are going up on declining volume. That means the buyers are not coming in strong here. Buyers are weakening. The buying volume, even though it's gone up pretty hard, the buying power, the buying volume is getting less and less. Why is it getting less and less? Because price is too high. Okay, price is too high. The big boys with the big money and the big volume, they do not buy at these levels. They sell at these levels. Okay, so that's another reason I'm bearish. Okay, I'm bearish because the big boys sell at all-time highs. They don't buy at all-time highs. The only people that buy at all-time highs like this are FOMO traders, guys that are just can't help themselves, and they listen to the wrong people, and they just believe everything goes straight up, and it never. It's only going up, 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 up. And they don't understand liquidity and how liquidity grabs happen. Okay, so don't be one of those people, please. Understand that whenever we make a top, okay, and retest that top, chances are we're going to get a double hit off of it. And just notice that price action right there. That was a wave 5 that finished, and then we had a 3-wave rejection off of that. So we had a wave 5 finish here. We had a rejection, a 3-wave pullback that took the top out, looking for 5 waves down to this range, roughly, retesting the 200 moving average. This is the area you want to consider buying. This is an area of support. Okay, this is an area where price is discounted. That's where you want to think about being a buyer. You don't want to think about being a buyer up here, the way I trade. Okay, what's up? What's up, my brother from another mother there? Maxos, you doing well? I haven't seen you in a long time. Glad you're here, buddy. Good to see you, man. So when do I become bullish? What changes my mind? Well, I hit to 50K. Definitely, I start getting bullish there, especially if we go down in 5 waves that are countable. I can count it and understand that. I'm definitely getting bullish at 50K. What else? What other way would I be bullish? Okay, and just depends on the time frame too, right? So, for instance, here I'm looking at a 4-hour chart here. I'm bearish looking at this wave structure. I'm bearish, but when do I get bullish on it? Well, if we get a 3-wave move, boom, 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 here, back down to here, that looks like it's fizzling out, and I have a volume spike at the bottom of this, I get bullish again. Okay, I get bullish again. We had a 3rd wave, what appears to be a 3rd wave, but no volume here. We had no volume to finish that move. Okay, so it wasn't indicating the end of anything, and a big buyer's coming in at the end of that. The volume isn't telling that story. But if we get a move down like I expect to get, okay? And it looks like a good 3 waves, and volume comes in. Nice, big volume spike, matching those kinds of volume spikes at the bottom of that second. Then I'll consider, hey, short term, I'm bullish on the 4-hour chart. Okay, it just depends on what the volume and the wave structure looks like as it comes down. But again, I'm looking for 50K, so I'm going to be a little bit patient through that to see how that's going to play. Okay. Could price action go take this high? Yes, it could go take the high, but it doesn't have to. In fact, price action could be finished. We're going to do the micro analysis in just a minute. What's up, Twins Records? Good to see you. Welcome. I'm just saying hi to everybody, saying hi to me. Hope y'all are well. Okay. So what if I'm wrong? What are the other counts? And I always try to exercise that kind of discipline. I try to stay as neutral as possible. I'm looking at this wave. I've got a particular way of looking at it. But what if I'm wrong about what this is? And it's another structure that I'm not seeing at the moment. What are those structures, and what could it be? It is possible. It is possible that instead of this being an A wave and that being a B wave looking for C, okay, instead of that this was an ABC and it was a wave 4 of the previous degree of a wave 3, maybe something like that, where you have 1, 2, okay, and this was 3 to here. That's 4, and now we're in the process of finishing a wave 5. That means we got to go up one more time, hit the high one more time, and then reject off of it. I don't think that's the play. I don't like this wave structure for that personally, but I would consider that as a possibility. What else could it be? Okay, now here's the really, really bullish look. Okay, instead of this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, instead of that being 5 waves, what if this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and now we have a 1, maybe that's 2, 1, 2 to there, or we come back down to here to 50K, and then we V-shape and we're going. And that's a 1, 2, 1, 2. That's a really bullish look. That doesn't put us in a multi-year bear market like I'm talking about. It puts us down here to 50K, V-shape, and then going on up. That's a real possibility as well. I like that idea. And that's a bullish look at this wave structure, okay? That means we would be going up much like the S&P 500, okay? It would just be a steady climb after it hits this bottom. I don't think that that's going to be the play personally, but it's certainly in the realm of possibility, and I'm considering that as a potential. Okay, so those are my main counts. That's my bullish count of the macro, and I've given you the bearish count. There's a couple of bearish counts there that I've shared, but ultimately, wave structure to me and signs are saying, hey, here we're on the 3-day chart. Let's take a peek at the 3-day chart. Just take a look here. I mean, at the signs of the end of a wave here. Okay, first off, you were way overbought here in this zone here. Okay. You had between this wave and that wave, you had what we call divergence. And now we've got another divergence happening. That's indicative of the flat that we're seeing more than likely. And if we go down hard, boom, something like that. All right. Well, that would complete and give us some hidden bullish divergence. And I'd get bullish again. But this is bearish divergence on the 3-day chart. And we've had a break of structure to the downside. Okay. So that's the way I'm looking at the charts tonight. Let's do some micro analysis because at the end of the day, the macro is going to take care of itself. It's going to do what it wants to do. So let's do some micro analysis and say, okay, where's the next move? What is this wave structure pointing to, and where might this wave be going? So what is this? What's happening here at the top? My best guess is that we have an impulse off the top. Okay, it's a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that's one way to look at that. That's 5 waves. Now there's another way to look at that wave. You could look at that as an instead of a 5 wave. You could look at that as an ABC. We could call that. So that's either 3 or 5. I don't know the answer to that, but let's talk about it as if it's 5 first. If it's 5, then I think what we've got here is a 3, 3, 5 correction. Okay, where that is a flat wave 2. Okay, so this 5 wave move would be a wave 1, and this is a flat correction, wave 2. What kind of flat is that? That's a running flat where the C wave did not overtake the origin of the A wave or the end of the A wave. Okay, so the C wave didn't, and so that would be a running flat. That's finished. Then you had an impulse off the top with a 3-wave pullback. And let's continue to the downside. How many waves are we looking for? Well, we're looking for 5, 3, boom. And we're looking for it to go, it'd probably come retest this zone, pull back hard, and then continue down. So they're going to work this range yet for another couple of weeks, probably. But this structure seems bearish. You got an impulse and 3 waves, looking for more. Or they're going to double up this 3 waves right in here. They're going to double that up, retake the high, and then come on down. That's totally possible. So while this wave structure is bearish, it has 3 wavishness to it. If they double it up, they'll keep price in here correctively and then go up 3 more. Look like they're going to take the high, but they won't. And then they'll take it down after they double up the correction. Okay, that's what they like to do. They love to do that, double up those corrections. That's kind of what I think is going to go on here. I think that's probably what's at stake. They're going to double this up, work this range a little bit more so they can get all their sell orders in and take their time doing it. And then the bottom is going to fall out, and it's going to work its way down here, pull back, take. Guys, that's a week and a half worth of price action probably. Just that kind of wave right there. Then it goes, it just methodically go on down. So it's going to go down methodically, but it's going to take weeks for that price action to develop and to play out more than likely. So what I'm thinking here, guys, as far as small time frame is concerned, is yes, this could be a flat, which means impulse, 3-way pullback. This could be ready to go. So if this comes down and takes this low and keeps going, great. All right, that's fine and dandy. But if this just corrects overnight without changing that price, it could take this low out, no problem. But then we'd be looking for this to be a flat. So we either look for a flat or some kind of double correction, just depending on what it wants to do, and then boom. And then down we go. All right. So that's the way I'm looking at this wave structure here, that this is a flat. Okay. What's another way to look at that wave structure? Well, another way to look at that wave structure is to say, hey, this is an impulse wave to here. We need 3 waves. Boom. Back down 50 to 60%, and then let's go. V-shaped recovery out of here. Okay. You see that would look bearish for a little bit, and then boom, bullish. So that is, that's a bullish look at that wave. I don't think that's going on in the macro. I don't think that's what's at play, but I want to at least keep it open as a possibility and be as, give it respect. If I see this developing, if I see, RSI getting oversold, I'm looking at volume, a big volume spike coming in at the bottom of a wave, as a wave is finishing, and I have a good finished wave count. maybe I want to consider taking profit on my short and going long. But for now, I prefer the short position rather than the long position. Though Mondays tend to be pretty bullish, pretty pumpy. So we may get pumpiness tomorrow morning and into the afternoon in the markets tomorrow, especially after a holiday weekend, followed by some bearishness reversal. So they set you up on Monday with a pump, and then they dump it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, consolidate Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and do it all over next week. Let me rest my mouth for a moment here, my voice, and check in with my coffee here, and check in with you guys in the chat. I guess on this holiday weekend, the chat's pretty quiet, but Epsilon's asking me if I've looked at ChatGPT. No, I don't ask ChatGPT what it thinks. It's going to compile what humans think. And give you both sides of what humans believe, basically, because I mean they're just searching the internet to get the mindset of people. I already gave you the Uber bull count, my brother. Did you miss it? Excuse me. Now, if it is a bullish count, I still think this is a flat. I think the wave structure is pointing this to as a flat more than likely. But I am watching for this as a pullback and continuation. But if it's a flat, then I'm looking for down here. Then looking for up. What's up, Eric? Yeah, I'm doing all right, buddy. Thank you. Oh, not bullish enough. Yeah, I can't be too bullish at the top here. I can't be that bullish. But yeah, I guess. I mean, again, I have been talking about 145 Bitcoin. I mean, I've had that as a target. I just don't like the wave structure for that count much anymore. Not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of the 145 count based on this current wave structure. I would just have to see the wave develop and it would have to make sense to me. But right now it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially with all this declining volume here. I really think it's much more plausible that we go down and hit 50K before. Now, if we do that, that's when I get uber bullish. Again, I can get uber bullish on a stop hunt down to here first, and then up to 150 to 200K. I would be fine because then we have support. This support became real support. Boom. And we meet this area, okay, and we bounce off of it. That would give the market a reason to go up and a wave structure that I could then count that makes sense to go up. So that's as bullish as I am for now. All right. So what is that? What is the ultimate takeaway here? Well, on the 1 hour chart, I'm watching this wave right here. I'm thinking, man, that looks like 3 waves. Boom. So the question becomes, is this going to become a double correction? And is this high going to hold right there? Was this a flat and this is the end of that correction? This is a 1, 2. Is it going to be simple and just go down from where we are? Or are they going to double it up tonight into tomorrow morning? Okay. And then take it down. Or into Tuesday morning, shoot. Let's talk about that volume analysis a little bit because the comment you just made, Chemo. So looking at this declining volume, the question is, where is this volume coming in? When the volume spikes, okay? When the volume spikes, where does it spike? Okay. All right. It's spiking at the bottom of waves. That means, so this was a volume spike at the bottom of this wave. That's a bullish count. Let me go back. There we go. So that's bullish volume. You say, but Jim, it was on a bearish candle. Yeah, but bulls come in at the bottoms. The real bulls do, not the tops. Okay. So major volume right here at the very bottom of this pullback. Okay. Where's the next volume peak? Right here. Okay. That is at this top there. So this is sell volume. Okay. But notice the next peak. The next peak, it matched that volume. In other words, the buy volume canceled that sell volume. Boom. But it's less volume than that one. Okay. Now, looking at this declining area here, let's zoom in just a little bit. This right here came in at the beginning, at the breakout. That's buy volume. Okay. And we really don't, we had some buy volume here at the bottom of that wave. Some more buy volume. So all of this volume is buy volume. The only sell volume that we really had was this volume right here. That was sell. This was buy, this was buy, this was buy, and it's all declining. Okay. Looking for some sell volume to come in. And as this wave goes down, I want to see that. I want to see the volume increasing. Okay. To an apex. Generally speaking, I don't know what I was going to say. I'm still working on when volume is increasing. What does that mean for the market? I mean, like for instance, you see the general peaks volume is increasing in here. Well, all this was accumulation for this wave to the upside. But that buy volume, so this was the accumulation area, okay? This hit the low, buy volume number one. Sell volume, buy volume. This is the first sell volume, second sell volume. It's buy, sell. But not a lot of selling yet. This is declining. So when is this volume? When the volume comes in, what's it going to mean? What's it going to do? Good question. All right, done some volume analysis. It's not yelling and screaming at me anything, but just note that it is declining. Here's an example of when volume was declining here. It was declining on as this wave went up. It needed the correction. Okay, once the correction, the volume could come back in and start increasing to give us that impulse, right? But now what do we need? Well, we had a correction, so the volume came back in, but we've got this declining volume here. What do we need? We need this correction so volume can come back in again. So that's when I get bullish, guys. When we come back down, larger correction. That's my take. That's when I get bullish again. I think all the other wave structures, I think all the other charts are calling for that kind of wave. Okay. So let's look at Ethereum for a moment. So if we get the kind of wave I'm looking for, we're going to get a quick wave to the downside. And it's going to be a wave 5 of a C wave. Okay. In other words, my main count here is that we have 5 waves in Ethereum. And now we're getting, this is the multi-year bear market, WXY. For Ethereum, I'd like to see this trend line hold. And then once this comes down here, the big volume spike comes in, and you get increasing volume through all in here, okay, for the next several years, okay, until boom. So I would like to personally see this hit to the low. That would correlate with Bitcoin's move down, okay, and then continue. So you would then see Ethereum picking up steam against BTC, which when you look at the ETH BTC chart, you can kind of see that. Let's look at that for a moment. ETH against Bitcoin. What do you see? On the 3-day chart, I think we need this one more hit to the low. Okay, it doesn't mean we can't pump a little bit right now first, but I think we need one more low. That's going to finish this wave out, and then ETH is going to start picking up some steam against Bitcoin. And what you see here is some kind of a boom, and then this is 3. I need one more wave. Take this low out, and then we go. Then Ethereum is off to the races. Very, very close. The only problem with the ETH BTC chart, that looks very 3-wave-ish there. I'd like to see this come down. But if that's 3-wave-ish, we could be heading up, or start 3-waving. Then we go. Okay, so Ethereum looking for a move down. Let's look at that count just a little bit. Now I could be wrong here, but my main analysis says, hey, this was 3 waves. Boom. That's 3 waves. Boom. I need 5. 1, 2. All right, where's 5 here? That's if that's a 1, 2. Well, this is 3 maybe. That's 4. Now we could be in the middle of making 5. It just needs to come down and finish the wave. Absolutely, Alexandra. That is that's kind of $800 Ethereum is a buy zone for me. $400 Ethereum is definite buy zone for me. You buy and hold forever, for a long time. Okay. All right. Looking at XRP, my concept of XRP says, hey, let me get on a different XRP chart. There we go. How does XRP like to move? How does XRP like to move? Well, it goes straight up, and then what does it do? Price comes all the way back down. Okay. Straight up, price comes all the way back down. Really fast retrace and then down again. Okay, so price has gone straight up. What hasn't happened? Price hasn't finished coming all the way back down yet. Now, I don't know how this wave is going to end up looking and counting before. So we could still come up here first before it comes all the way back down. Yes. Okay, so we could see a rally here before price comes all the way back down. That's possible. But at the end of the day, I am looking for Ethereum to come all the way back down first. Down to this region. Okay. Doesn't have to surpass it, but it can. It could take that low out, but it doesn't have to. At the end of the day, that's the way Ethereum does. It fills these single prints. We have a big single print. It needs to be filled. It's not been filled yet. So looking at the small time frame, again, if this, well, let me go back. If BTC goes down like I think it could, then you're going to see XRP come down as well, and that's when XRP can fill its single print and then go back up. I don't actually see it a change in behavior, Chemo, because if you just kind of look at it, it's not actually the case. Like, for instance, if we got a red candle, this is a 2-week chart. So in the next 2 to 3 weeks, next month, if we got a big heavy red month, it would look very, very similar to that. It would look very similar. Well, it wouldn't look exactly, but at the end of the day, it would only take some very bearish months here with some straight downness to it. That it'll really give the same impression. So for me, I don't see this as different price action, to be honest with you. It's just, taking its time. We're in this kind of trash right here before it comes down to really finish. But we got this big single print that really just needs to be filled. And so a move down with Bitcoin, a move down with Ethereum, a move down with XRP all makes sense to me. Now, what happens in the immediate term? Could it come back up here and then come down? Yeah, it could. I don't know how exactly it's going to go. It's why I trade I take trades every day, not looking for big moves necessarily. I know that there's moves in the market every day, but my bias right now is to the downside, and I get bullish again somewhere around 50 cents, 60 cents, 50 cents to $1. Let me just say it that way. I get really bullish at those levels. I become a buyer and I hold for a very long time at those levels. Okay, the buying starts at $1. Okay, and then we buy and hold for quite a while. Okay. So this just doesn't look ready to moon here. Personally, I just not seeing it now. Could it moon from here? Yes. So let's just talk about what could be happening. This is the monthly chart. Look at the monthly price of XRP. They are working this level. Big green. Now red retrace. Now they're just working it. There's no doubt about it. There's liquidity grabbing right now. Just looking at this wave, I could definitely see this come hit the high and then come on down like that. That would make sense to me. That would be fine and dandy. So I'm a little bit bullish in the short term, maybe. Yeah, if you look at the volume, look at this major volume here. That's crazy. That's crazy amount of volume. I would like to see a liquidity grab and then go to the moon. And that would just give you a three-way pullback and then moon. That makes sense to me right there. Let's grab some liquidity. Let's fill this single print. Then let's go moon. So yeah, there it is. But that is a crazy amount of volume on the monthly chart in that area. But look at all the volume that was in here. But look at the comparative volume here. It's not compared. Something's very different about the volume. It's crazy. Okay. I know some of my friends are looking at SOL. Let's take a peek at SOL and see what that chart is saying, if it's saying anything at all. Let's start on the weekly chart on SOL and just kind of look at the price structure here. Okay. What is this? What's happening here? Well, if you kind of look at this wave structure right there, okay, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a 5-wave move. Okay, then you have a 3-wave pullback. Now what? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, you got a 5-wave move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So yeah, what you've got here is 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4. That could be 5 right there, and this could be a flat A wave. So what is this? What's going on? Well, that could be a flat A, B, C. Okay, it could be that. Getting complex. See this shallow pullback here? This could be equivalent to that. And now, if this rolls over and comes down straight, that would be equivalent to that wave there. And we'd have a very similar looking wave. But that could be a wave 1 and a wave 2. This could be a wave 1. That could be a 2 that's finished, and now we're going, okay? Or this 2 is not finished. We got to finish it. I don't know if that's a B wave or what. It needs to be finished. Let's look at the 4 hour. That looks very 3-wave-ish. Impulse. One hour. Man, right now, that looks like 3 waves. Right now. Looks like a 1, 2. Yeah, I'm having a hard time with that wave structure. This is challenging. This very much looks like 3. What's that doing? What is that doing? WXY. Boom, boom, boom. Now what? Looks very much like that right there. Which could come down, pull back, come down. Yeah. This could get kind of bearish. That'd be too much. Can't go to negative. So I'm just looking at this and thinking, okay, this is impulse. I just don't like this as the 3 wave and it's done. But could this be bullish here and just going straight up? I tend not to think that. I don't have a read on Solana. But I do know something. I will say this in the 4 hour. Looking at the 4 hour, see that right there? Very much like this. Boom. 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 Down. down. So I'm bearish in the short term, I think. All right, guys, what charts can I take a peek at for you guys? What can I look at? I've done about an hour of analysis here, just kind of looking at patterns here, and I'm still bearish until this thing, takes liquidity. It doesn't mean it can't go up this week or tomorrow or whatever, but expect Monday to be bullish. I don't know. Monday's been bullish lately. Any charts you want me to take a peek at that you think might shed some light on where we are as far as wave structure is concerned? I just know this market is taking forever. Forever. Looking at XRP small time frame. See this wave right here? Boom, boom, boom. Looks like a WXY. Impulse. 3-wave pull up. Well, let me try that again. 3 waves. Boom, boom, boom. 3 waves. I'm waiting for this 3-wave to finish. Take this high. Respect this. Then go down. Here's another scenario. Here's another scenario. Get on the 8-hour. What if this is a running flat right here in the middle? Three. And that's a running flat. Boom. Now I'm looking for 3 up here. I don't mind that at all. That actually looks pretty decent. Boom, boom, boom. And then down. That actually looks pretty good. Let's look at Bitcoin. Is it going to go up in the near term? Man. See, I look at this and I'm like, 3, 3, 3, done. That looks done. Looks down. Unless they're going to make it complex. In which case, that's 3. This is 3. And then they come back up and hit. And then down. So this gets complex. Yeah, maybe. Because I can see XRP just going down from here. Boom. Impulse, pullback, impulse, pullback. That's a 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's go. All right. I'm just looking at the chart here. Just again, see if wave structure's telling a story. It's not telling a great story here, right here, guys. It's literally this move could be up or down. I tend to think this wave structure is nasty. What is this? What is this wave? Is that an ending diag? So is this an ABC? 3 up, 3 down, looking for 5 up. One, 2, 3, 4. I need a 5. We pump. Finish, dump. That looks pretty decent to me. That looks pretty decent. Yeah, let's look at silver and gold here for Cubs. Silver and gold. Silver and gold. All right. Dude, I'm just absolutely bullish on silver. I mean, just crazy bull. I'm a crazy bull on silver. The weekly chart has so much more room to go to the upside. It has so much room. One, two. Let's go. I need it to pick up some steam. Let's go. Cubs, I mean, that looks like a 1-2 to the upside. Now this does look like a flat right there. Boom. And that's 3 waves. So what is this? I mean, just doesn't have the same. Could be a triangle right there. A, B, C, D, E right there. Final hit. 1, 2. Let's look at. Yeah. This is gold. The gold chart. You could see a little bit of a pullback, but this is just going to keep pulling back and going up. Get parabolic soon. The pullback's going to reset the RSI for another move up. Hey, Laplation, what's up, buddy? It's good to see you. Cubs, let me look at SUI. Whatever that one is. I forget what that's called. It's the weekly chart. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you have an A, you have a B, looking for C, and C needs to finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This needs to come back down to where it originated, and then maybe it can start picking up. This doesn't look done to me. That's the weekly chart. 4-hour chart. There we go. This could be WXY. WXY. Get a little bit of a pump here and then dump. 12-hour chart. Pump. Dump. We're breaking. Yeah, I hear you on the silver. I'd like to see it catch up as well. I have a bunch of physical silver. All right, guys, there it is. I'm tired, man. I've been working hard around the clock here, and I think I'm done for the night, man. My eyes are just going cross-eyed. That's a good look at the market. Just be careful. Just be careful. Hope you guys are just being safe out there. Use your money well. We're just waiting on Bitcoin to do its thing. It's up or down, but I'm biased to the downside, looking for down counts. But I think the ultimate thing is, okay, is this going to prove to be a flat or not? If that is a flat, then I'm looking for this to come down. If that is not a flat, then I'm looking at this as 3 waves potentially, and I'm looking for this to come down and then go up. So what do you think? I don't know the answer to that. Let's call it a night. That'll be a short Sunday night charts. Happy 4th of July, guys. And let's see what the market does this week, tomorrow as it opens. I hope y'all have a great night. Bye-bye.